I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. All right, friends, I'm holding in my hand a book called the Tanakh. Effectively, what it is the Jewish Bible with the strictest sense of the Jewish interpretation of what we refer to as Christians as the Old Testament. The Jews do not refer to that segment of the chronicle events of the prophets as the Old Testament. They refer to it as the Tanakh, the Jewish Bible. And this particular Tanakh has also many of the insights from the classic rabbis and rabbinical thought that have been handed down over the years by the rabbis, by the scribes. And it is a beautiful work. It's a beautiful book. I treasure it greatly. It was given to me by a Jewish friend. But this book, my friend, says emphatically, empirically, without a reasonable or shadow of a doubt, that Barack Hussein Obama is and was and is not black. That's what this book, the Tanakh, says. And it says it emphatically in what we refer to in this Bible, Genesis, which is the Bible that we as English or Christians or Protestant use. It says in this Bible in Genesis chapter 6 and also in the Tanakh, 16th chapter rather, that the child that was born of Hagar and of Abraham, when Sarah wilted and thought that she couldn't have children, that Abraham went into Hagar, who was a Hamite. She was not a Jew. She was not a Shemite. But the son that was born, Ishmael, could not receive the birthright because in order for a son to be a Jew, his mother must be a Jew. And Hagar was not a Jew. And this Tanakh that you see side by side with the Bible, this very powerful rendition and teaching and writings of the Jewish faith, this very powerful book says that Obama is not black because his mama was not black. And it is stated emphatically in Genesis chapter 16 that Hagar was a Hamite. She wasn't a Jew. Therefore, Ishmael, her son, though God said with the angel that caught them by the well that he was going to bless Ishmael, but he couldn't receive the birthright. He couldn't receive the right of being a Jew because Hagar was an Egyptian or a Hamite, and therefore she or he could not be the inheritor. And Isaac was later born, about 9 years later. Isaac was born, and Isaac received the birthright. And then Isaac passed the birthright on down to Jacob, and Jacob to the 12 tribes, etc. But Ishmael does not get mentioned anywhere in that entire process because his mother was not a Jew. Now, Obama's mother was white. And so therefore, according to the Tanakh, and any other reasonable person that reads the Bible or anybody with half a sense of common sense know that Obama's not black. Now, you can call him black. You can say that his father was black. And you calling him black doesn't make it so. Saying his father was black, well, but that is not how the Bible, that is not how this Tanakh or this Holy Bible defines the race or the color of the person. This Tanakh and the Bible defines the race of a person by whatever the mother's race is. The thing I think also that is a scream is that if a black woman has a child and that child was impregnated into her by a white man, when that child comes out of that black woman, nobody calls that child white. Nobody. Even though his father was white, his mother is black. And you can go up and down from all the way back from Nat Turner to W.E.B. Du Bois to Frederick Douglass to Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad to Dr. King. You can go all the way up and down and question every one of them and ask them, have you ever, you can ask Harriet Tubman, have you ever, you know, the Thomas Jefferson had president, had a Hamite woman that he really loved and had about 17 children by her. But those children were never called white children. They were never, every one of those 17 children that she had for President Jefferson were called black because she's black. There has never been in the history of the world where anybody, race, creed, or color would be ludicrous or stupid enough to call a child that was fathered by a white man in a black woman's womb, and when the child came out the black woman's womb, call that child white. That ain't never been done. That ain't never been done. But here comes Barack Hussein Obama and some of the most ignorant, stupid black people you're ever going to see anywhere on the entire planet. I mean, their ignorance and racism and stupidity and ineptness is off the geographical, universal, historical chain. They said Obama was black, but his mama was white. They would never say that. They would never say that about a white man's child impregnated into a black woman. They would never call that child that came out of that black woman white. Never. Sally Hemings is her name. Sally Hemings, the beloved one. I mean, I think Jefferson really loved her, Sally Hemings. And she had a mess of children. And the history says that when Jefferson died, he left those children a lot of property, and everybody knows that he and Sally Hemings had it going on, and they really loved, but the children were never called white because the mama's black. So where on earth did you get all these dumb, stupid, and I call black people dumb and stupid with as much vigor as I possibly can. Not if they want to be Hamites, that's a different story. But where do you get all these dumb black people like Eddie Gloyd and Myra Lyra and a bunch of Eddie Van Jones and Michael Eric Dysons and Jesse Jacksons and all these dumb, double down dumb black people calling Obama black? He wasn't black. His mama's white. I tell you what, here's what you do. Here, because you ain't gonna jig it with me. I tell you what you do. Roll up on the Jew. Say, hey, Mr. Shemite, you know anything about this Tanakh? Do you go to Kabod? Do you go to temple? Do you go to the synagogue, right? Do you believe this book? Ask him. And ask some of the Hollywood moguls, Jewish people out there in Hollywood, man, they run Hollywood. Ask Chuck Schumer. I think Chuck Schumer tries to be a faithful Jew as much as that's possible within, the fact he's a politician. Or ask Josh Shapiro, who's now the governor of the state of Pennsylvania. Or ask Jake Tapper, or Wolf Blitzer, Jews on CNN. They try to hold on to a little bit of their Jewish heritage, even though they're out in the world. Ask any of them, according to Jewish faith, is Obama black? Just ask him. I dare you. I double dog dare you. I double dog dare you. So, because they're going to tell you, and Obama, according to the Bible, both the Old Testament Bible, the Protestant and Catholic Bible, and to the Tanakh, Obama is not black. He's a white man because he came out of a white woman. That's what they're going to tell you. So for all these years, the dumb ass, and I say that with as much strength as I possibly can, because I want to point out. How can you? We were Harvard educated. Well, Eddie Gloyd, and I'm a teacher at Princeton, and Michael Eric Dyson, and on, and Van Jones, and on and Cornel West at Harvard, and all. These are the dumbest, most stupid, because they know it right now in their hearts. If a black woman has a child that was pregnant, she was pregnant by a white man, ain't nobody on the planet gonna call that child white. Ain't nobody gonna call that child white. That boy, his daddy may be white, but you black, boy. You black, and they know it. And yet they make this global, universal, unprecedented exception for Barack Hussein, the long-legged Mac Daddy Obama. Said he's black. Well, his mama was white. What are we gonna do about this ignorance? And it is so pervasive. What are we gonna do? What I want to just suggest is this, is that, from day one, I've maintained this position, but I would think that at least continue to continue it, and to try to bring a sense of reckoning that why is it that black people, okay, they've never built anything. They've never built a seaworthy vessel. And it's not that they cannot do it, but they're under the curse of Noah, the preacher of righteousness, and they're not going to be able to do it. They were prophesied to be slaves in the Bible as Hamites and Canaanites. They don't want to acknowledge that. Right now, they are shrinking violet. They are the smallest population group in America. The Latinos are 3 times as many by population and voting power than do blacks. They're doing worse now as a group of people than they have ever done. Slavery was better for black people than it is for them now. And they keep getting promoted to actually be as ignorant and as stupid. Okay, there's nothing wrong with wanting to have a black president, but let the black president come out the womb of a black woman. Let her come out of Nancy Wilson or Shirley Chisholm. Coretta Scott King. His mama's black, he's black. Yeah. The reason why black people could make that exception for Obama, where they would never make it for a white man's baby born of a black woman. They would never make that exception. And Julian Bond tried to say this to them, but somebody dropped off $3 or $4 million when Julian Bond was executive of the NAACP, when Obama was running for president, and all of a sudden, Obama became black because $3 million was dropped off at the NAACP. This is really a sickness. You can say, Pastor Manny, we don't like you. You black people got to stick together, and we're making progress, and on and on and on. But even with with so-called now your black Supreme Court woman Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, hell, she's married to a white man, and I'm not against. I don't think there should not be interracial marriage. Did I say that? I never said that. I'm just saying that she ain't all black, because she married to a white man. And then, of course, so there's something wrong with our disdain for our own perspective of being black. That's why Kamala Harris, our first woman vice president, the first woman vice president is black, but she's married to a white, and not only that, but a Jewish man. I tell you what, ask Camelback, I call her Camelback, ain't Black Harris. Ask Kamala Harris' husband, ask him if Obama is, tell him, put your hand on the Tanakh and tell me whether Obama is black or not. Just ask him to do that. And he may be a little insulted or offended by the whole idea of it, but the only reason why he would be insulted or offended, because he's going to have to tell black people who live in darkness and ignorance and stupidity, led by people like Camelback Harris and Van Jones and Eddie Glaude and a bunch of others that you see, the Don Lemons on television, a bunch of others, Joy Reid. He's going to be embarrassed because he's going to have to say to Joy Reid, you're about the most stupid thing ever. You have to say to Al Sharpton, you about the most stupid thing. He's going to have to say to the whole black nation in America and across Africa, y'all are about the most stupid people ever, calling Obama black. His mama's white. And that's the only reason he's going to be embarrassed. He ain't going to be embarrassed because it ain't true. He's going to be back here and say, Lord have mercy. We don't want to turn on the light and tell all these black people in America, all these black rappers, all these black movies, all these Chris Rocks, all these, all these Jay-Z's, all these Beyonce, we're going to have to tell them y'all about the most stupid people ever. Stupid. Talking about Obama is black. His mama's white. The Bible says he's white. That was already, he being, ask Chuck Schumer. Ask Chuck Schumer. Ask Wolf Blitzer. Ask Jake Tapper. Ask Josh Shapiro out there in Pennsylvania. They got a little bit Jewish, tinge and heritage in them and Jewish truth. or ask any Jew, or ask me, or ask yourself. And not only that, but Obama wasn't black, and he didn't know about how to duck back in the alley. Obama didn't know how to raise. This is the other thing. Damn. He's raised in Jakarta with a tranny as his nanny. He had a tranny as a nanny for 7 years out there in Jakarta. His mama and daddy went to work. The tranny made him a whole lot of food as he like. He's raised by a tranny, right? He leaves the tranny, goes to live with granny in Hawaii and Honolulu. She's a white woman. She has a white husband, and white people raise him. He's raised in a white environment out there in Honolulu, right? Finally, he comes to Los Angeles, goes to Occidental College, and from there he gets into Chicago. So he was raised white. He don't even know how to duck back in the alley. He don't know nothing about being black. He has no idea about the whole thing. And one of the reasons why I took up with that conker-lean hair, Al Sharpton, who I called it the buzzard, because every time somebody black gets shot by a police officer, buzzard starts flying. Somebody die, Al Sharpton, the buzzard, flies in. He wanted Al Sharpton to teach him how to be black. He didn't. Cornel West, you can say what you want to say about him. I got other things I want to say about him as well. But Cornel West was going to look at Obama and sit down and know he don't know how to be black. Cornel West would have picked that boy's bone in the mud. Obama don't know how to be black, but Al Sharpton, he's such a sellout. He's such a whore that he tried to teach Obama how to be black. Had Stevie Wonder camp come down there, and because his wife, Michelle the Fist Bumper, she couldn't teach him how to be black either. So it's the stupidity. If Pastor Man and black people are like, do you really think I give two damns about enough? Sally Hemings is perhaps, I don't think she gets the right kind of play in history. I mean, you get Harriet Tubman, you get a whole lot of other people, Rosa Parks, Rosa Parks. But Sally Hemings, she doesn't get a lot of play by black people because I think she loved Thomas Jefferson. I think she did, and I think he loved her. But see, if you're black, you ain't supposed to love the white man. Now, she had 17 children by the man. Come on. Why isn't she lifted? Why aren't there statues to Sally Hemings? Of course, all her children were black, though their father was the president of the United States of America. Hell, they don't even get that. But you can give it to Obama for born of a white woman, call him black. You see how stupid people like Cornel West is, how stupid Van Jones, how stupid Eric Dyson, how stupid. They ignore Sally Hemings. And by the way, Van Jones is married to a white woman himself. Every time one of these so-called black people get some money, they run away from black because they don't want to be black. Anyway, so I thought I would share that with you. I'm trying to help you. I'm really, because it ain't gonna be the Civil Rights March and the Dr. King that's gonna set you free. You're gonna need the truth, my brother. And to the Japheth, that's the white man, and Shemite, we just need to coalesce around the truth. Obama was not black. He didn't know how to duck back in the alley. He didn't do one damn thing for black people because he didn't know how. He didn't have a spirit. He didn't know how to think or feel black. Hell, Bill Clinton was the first black president there was. Bill Clinton knew how to feel our pain. Bill Clinton raised up in Arkansas. Hell, Jimmy Carter was more black than Obama. Got raised around black people. Bill Obama was raised around a damn tranny in Jakarta and around two old white people out there in Honolulu. He don't know about being black. Then we got a chance. He stabbed his pastor. That's right. He stabbed his pastor in the back. That Jeremiah Wright had to leave the scene forever, never open up his mouth again in order. Ask Oprah I tell you what, ask Oprah. She sat down with Michelle and Obama. She asked her. Ask her if Obama's black. Ask her. Go ahead and ask Oprah. Ask her. Obama crucified all the black people that knew he was black, that knew he was white, so he could be president. All right, so that's it. I've had my say. I'm not going to give up on this. I think I'm crusading just to bring the truth. I'm just the Lord's servant up here in Harlem, New York for the past 40 years. I'm just the Lord's servant. I want to call you Hamites. I want to call you to the word of God, you black people. I want to call you to prosperity and blessings. I want to call you to righteousness. It's really where I want to call you to. And I'm not going to quit. And maybe one day somebody will hear me and we can all sing together. But as for now, stupid, stupid, stupid first black president. At any rate, I'm James Ebbett Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant.